What is a tihai? Okay, so it seems to be a fundamental principle of creation that has roots in Indian classical music, but feels like the roots of it probably trace back literally millions of years. The basic principle is using 3 cycles to complete a phrase, right? So at the end of those 3 cycles, you're looking to resolve on a downbeat and release tension. The 3 cycles are building up tension, and then bam, downbeat alignment. So let's look at this in context, right? A really simple example of a tihai here. Over 1 measure of 4/4, right? So we need 3 cycles to get us to the downbeat of the next measure. Well, we can take literally any series of anything. Let's go with 3 groups of 3, right? That will make tons of sense. So we got to reverse engineer from the end. See what's going on here? Look at that. See this? There we go. That's a perfect tihai, right? Because this is going to stir the pot, set up tension that's going to release on the downbeat of the next measure. And we see that we have to calculate the starting point of the tihai, very key fundamental principle. And we see here to do 3 groups of 3 to get us to the downbeat, we got to start on the last 16th note of beat 2. There's your basic tihai framework right here. Listen to that against a metronome and it instantly sounds like, okay. Like literally, it's so sick, right? Like right away, it's like, okay, this is like the keys to the kingdom here. Now what you'll notice is if you study tihais and tihai repertoire, the combinations of this simple framework are literally infinite. Like different gurus emphasize different aspects of this tihai framework. And in this particular video, I want to draw attention to one specific type of tihai, okay? Now this type of tihai was brought to my attention by the ever legendary deeply woven master, Antoine Pellegrin. And he learned this from an Indian classical tabla master, so you're getting it directly from the source here, but he told it to me because it aligns with something we've talked a lot about on this channel, right? Which is the Meshuggah beat cycle framework, okay? So that's what we're gonna unpack in this video, kid! Now, in order to full circle the fundamental principles of creation, we're just going to recap the Meshuggah framework very quickly, okay? So take ligature marks, for example. So if you study ligature marks, the main riff, you're going to notice that it consists of 3 cycles of 37 plus 1 cycle of 17, okay? What do you notice? That's 4 total cycles, so that does not fit in the tihai framework. But there's a key element here we got to draw our attention to, which is the truncated cycle, the cycle of 17, right? So when you study ligature marks, you'll notice that the 17 is embedded in each of the 3 cycles of 37, okay? So what happens there is by the time you hit that last 17 beat cycle, well, guess what? It's nostalgic because you've already heard it 3 times, but it's just subtracting the other 20 subdivisions, okay? And we've talked about this idea of capitalizing on nostalgia. You see that microcosm of that very thing? This is so closely related to the particular type of tihai we're going to examine that there's just no way this is an accident or coincidence. I tend to think that Meshuggah is like purposely breaking that rule of 3, but using the things they like from it, which is, you know, that's how composition works, right? You research out in the wild and then you integrate the concepts. But to illustrate the type of tihai and how powerful it is to actually use that embedded cycle system in the tihai framework, we're going to compose an actual tihai-based riff, 3 cycles, but guess what? We're going to use the truncated cycle system. So our 3 cycles are not going to be of equal length, right? But that still fits in the tihai framework, right? They don't have to be of equal length. There's no rule that says the cycles have to be of equal length. They just have to be 3. So I'm thinking we take 128 subdivisions, okay? 8 bars of 4/4, and we make a tihai riff where we do 45 plus 45 plus 38. Equals 128, where the 38 is embedded in each of the 45s. So by the time you hit that 3rd cycle, nostalgia kicks in and you're like, why is this so good, right? These systems are freaking powerful, kid. All right, let's get into it. Let's make the riff. Constantly entangling. So we know what to do first, 45. How are we gonna do 45? Let's be basic about it. Let's go 30, so let's go 15, 15, okay, 30. Now, we're gonna keep in mind, 38 is embedded in this. So we're going 30 probably plus 8. We'll deal with that momentarily. But you already kind of see what's going to happen. So if we'll do 15, I'm just going fast, basic. Let's go 2, 3, right? That's 5 times 3. There you go. There's your first 15, right? Now the obvious thing to do here is just do 15 again, but just do it 3, 2. So that means this is a 3 and this is a 2. And so you're just doing 15 again, right? 1, 2, 3. But just inverted clave. And then this is where we literally just do 8. So we'll literally just do like this for now, right? 4 2s, that's 8. So that's 38. So right here, that is going to be our embedded cycle. So we'll come back to that later. We actually need to get to 45 now. Plus 7 is all we have left. And I think it makes sense to just start with a 3 right there because you just had a bunch of 2s. So that's going to be your 7. And that right there is 45. There we go, right? 45. So now we're going to copy and paste that, right? 1, 2. Now watch this. This is 38, right? 38 is everything. And see how all we're doing is we're cutting off that 7 that hangs over, right? And look at perfect downbeat alignment, right? So now all we need to do is write this 45 out. And when we do that, everything, it's done. It's it, because you're going to copy and paste that, and then you're going to truncate it, and then you're done, right? So this is it, right? Here we go. How do we choose the notes? Honestly, I'm not going to get too far into that in this video. That's another conversation entirely. But the basic principle of note decision is just let the rhythm dictate the melody, right? If you have a good rhythm, you're going to have a good melody. The rhythmic accents essentially reveal the contour of the melody, right? But you need to have a harmonic awareness, right? But I mean, for me, we've talked about this. This is like the Egyptian blues, right?
Bluesy Egyptian kind of language.
This is the droning, because I'm always pivoting off the open string. So now you see like the instrument also affects the note choices, right? Just because of the open string principle of guitar, right? So that's kind of bringing in that drony pivot. I'm always going to be pivoting off of something, right? And that already helps me choose what the first thing is. Like literally all about that open string pivot, something super basic like this, right? Right? I got one more 3 to fill in there, right? So that's like the first lick. Let's see what that. It's perfect golden dynamite. Couldn't be better, literally. So let's actually just keep with that motif, but just kind of mess with it. Like watch how I mess with it. This is what you're after. You want to understand how I think about melody and harmony? Well, this is it. This is the best way to explain it. It's just to do it. Continuing with the open string pivot there. That's dynamite right here. Already the sickest thing ever, which makes logical sense. That's the tihai thing. We talked about this, man. Like, Antoine, dude, you know what's up. Like, that's why it's the tihai, because you start using it and you're like, what? Did we hit the mother load? It's like, yeah, that's exactly what we hit. I mean, keeping with that motive, but now like kind of digging deeper, doing something like, you know what I'm doing, dude? Like basically somehow subvert the entire paradigm right here. I kind of see it going that, see this, that. Listen to that. Right, and now it's like gonna loosen up, right? Now it's kind of like, okay, that was all like tight, so now I'm already thinking, when I play this and practice this, I gotta play that tight, right? And now it's gonna open up a little bit here. And I'm just literally following classic, almost like cliche. But honestly, cliche is that's the whole thing. The nostalgia, cliche, create new cliches, right? That's the whole thing with composition, right? And the mind-blowing part of this is that if you just understand all this and you just do this yourself with your own sensibilities, and it just is going to be completely different universe, but it's going to be your best work you've ever done, right? Because you can already see, watch this. Listen to how perfectly masterful this is about to sound, and I've never listened to it in my life. Yeah! It's about to flip the corner here, dude. Like, just in keeping with that 4 minor thing, this is like a 4 minor moment. And now I think we're going to disrupt this somehow. Mess up the whole operation there. Actually, you know what? More pivot. That's still pivoting off the root there, but that's the idea, right? So you slam into the 4, and then you just disrupt it by slamming into the major third. You see what's going on there? Because you're approaching the major third from the minor third a half step below it. It's going to put a lot of emphasis on that being like a home base moment, which implies the root, right? The major third implies the root, right? So it's like 4 minor just went back to 1, which is like Bach essential classics. So let's just stay on 1, basically, right? Right, there we go. Now we're getting like blues turnaround vibes. Now remember, right here is the top of the next cycle, right? Where the cursor is, right? So we've got 4 subdivisions left, right? I think it's already, you're back home. You're not going to need more key centers. So I think what we're going to do is, this is going to be hard to put into words exactly. You're only going to understand this in context. But what I'm doing here is I'm ending the cycle the same way I start the next one, kind of, right? You see it, you can just see, right? There's literally an intervallic jump at the end, right? And the beginning kind of starts with intervallic jumps on the same open string pivoting system, right? So you can already kind of understand the implication of why that is a dynamite thing to do in a tihai or cycle situation scenario. And honestly, let's just listen to that. That's just the cycle. Let's just listen to what we got. This is probably literally going to be the hardest hitting mother load of riff I've probably potentially ever written, even possibly. Okay, and now all I got to do is, you already know what happens next, right? All I do is this, right? And we go 1, 2, tihai, 3, and look how it just cuts off that beautiful 7 for us. And that's it, right? Now, the only other thing I'll show you, though, is how it repeats on itself, because I just said ending one cycle like the next one begins. Just listen to this. Oh, take it from measure 3. Perfect downbeat moment, right? Look at that. Now you're hearing it on the other side of the beat, kid. Like, dude, like, this is the keys to the kingdom, right? So if you want to hear the full track, right? Obviously, that's in the school. We've been going hard in the school, man. That is straight up popping off. In fact, I will go ahead and show you what's going on in there right now. Actually, there's one more thing to do here. One more thing to do. You know what it is? It's a symmetrical melody, dude. We actually need to do that. I can tell this is going to be a dynamite, interesting one. The number one goal of the symmetrical melody is as basic as possible. Don't be afraid to write a melody that's already existed, right? Because the riff underneath it, in combination with it, in displacing against it, is 10,000 universes of information, right? So the simpler the melody can be, the better, right? And if you can set up some kind of repeat situation, that's even better, dude. So with that in mind, what's possible? Well, I got all this like D droning stuff, so I basically can just drone over D. I'm gonna go and start with a 5th. Even though the chord is on the 4 minor, right? That's perfect. So that's kind of like a call, essentially. So let's make the response, right? Look at this. Look at this 3rd action we've got going on. I like that one. That is violent, right? So I'm playing the minor 3rd in the melody when I'm really laying into the major 3rd on the riff. But we talked about this, the bluesy Egyptian, right?
That whole like bluesy, droning, bluesy, but also like Egyptian.
Minor 3rd against the major 3rd, always like classic system I'm giving away for free. Deep in the bag of tricks, dude. This is an excellent example of it, right? Slamming into the major 3rd, flat, disgusting minor 3rd in the melody, and it's gonna be like huge pyramid Egyptian blues enlightenment. Now it's back to just like root droning, so anything is fair game, like go up to the 4th. I'm just like, I almost kind of already know what this melody already is, almost. I'm literally hearing like the 9th here. Yeah, the 9th, just because we haven't hit it yet. And none of this is like terribly offensive against the 9th of the key, because this is the ultimate level. Finish it on the major freaking 3rd, kid. So if this is a truly good melody, then I should just be able to copy and paste it, and it's literally the greatest of all time. And I think that's probably what's going to happen here. So I would wager that that is the ideal situation, what just happened in this composition with the tihai framework, the 3 cycles, truncated cycle embedded, and the other 2 cycle situation with the symmetrical melody and the riff morphing against melody. Now here's your full circle moment, right? You already see, I don't even need to spell it out for you, but you see that the Meshuggah framework does not fit in the tihai framework, but the tihai framework fits in the Meshuggah framework, and the truncated cycle factor is huge. I really think there's something to this truncated cycle thing. I think this is like some kind of insight into the mind of the almighty creator, something about cycles, truncated cycles. That's the thing that none of the videos on YouTube tell you about TIHAIS. They don't talk about the truncated part, and people haven't done the Meshuggah research to see that, right? Some people have. Huge shout out Derek Johnson, helped me understand a lot of stuff. But generally speaking, not very many people are talking about the truncation thing in the Meshuggah framework that's over and over again repeated on literally every song like clockwork, right? And how that fits directly, flawlessly in to this specific tihai framework that Antoine Pellegrin was like, yo, is this? And it's like, yeah, it's literally exactly the same in the sense where Meshuggah fits into it, but tihai does not fit into Meshuggah. So that's just like, that's your full circle, dude. Like, motherload stuff here. And the thing is, I've got to still write the riff underneath the symmetrical melody, kid. And that's, you know what, I'm so not going to get into this in that video. So if you want to hear how that resolved, you're going to have to go in the school to check that out. Speaking of that, let's go check out the school. What's going on in there? Well, we just have like conversations and people posting exercises and all this kind of stuff, like just like all this, right? And here's the thing that matters is the classroom here, right? This is where all the songs are posted with this kind of, you know, video thing where you're seeing the MIDI against the screen and the riffs are explained, right? Let's actually see what's going on here on the verse, right? Give you a preview of how that verse turned out.
Vision of the masterpiece, the fractal keeps unraveling accordingly. Vision for a memory, I'm constantly entangling mystery and certainty, flowing with the gravity of beautiful geometric alignments.
Right, so we talk about this in the school all the time. The reason you're writing riffs, the reason you're writing songs is to lay the foundation to write words, because when you write words, you create reality. You can see where music is like integral to that, right? It's like the stone cement foundation of that, but the lyrics are just not to be overstated. Like ultimately, you're letting yourself be inspired by the music to make those expressive groanings, dude, to the almighty creator, dude. You know what I'm saying? For real. That's the vibe of the school. That's why the systems for creation are real. And this tihai thing, we absolutely hit the mother load on this. And like this post I made about it today was like tripping me out. You know, I just make posts like this and just talk about creation, you know, systems and things and just like moments of enlightenment, right? We have these different conversations always going on. Look at this. Neil, dude, fellow faculty member, dude, he's posting golden dynamite in here. Are you kidding me? This is like the most important thing you've ever, like, if you don't know this stuff, like, what are you even doing, right? So that's the thing. Get in the school. Now, here's what's going on. New development in the school is, obviously, you guys know about the 15-week accelerator program. So we've been building courses, right? So we're going to start releasing the courses in the school. Right now, the courses are just the songs and the composition lessons, right? But now we're about to add the lesson modules that were created by students and me collaborating, right? The initial 15-week cohort, right? Collaborating. Now we have all these courses we're going to release in there, right? And that's how we're going to keep building the school. That's why the price is going up, dude. Because now we're adding like literally like hack the matrix lessons, like here you go, right?
Now level 5, we're getting more advanced here. This will be self-accompaniment.
So you can get that just by joining the school. Now here's the deeper cut. If you want to join the 15-week, work directly with me, creating courses in System for Creations, right? You get free lifetime access if you do that, right? That makes logical sense now, right? But the point is I'm going to work with you to help you actualize your greatest vision. And then the lessons that we come up with in doing that go in the school. And that's why there's a subscription fee, because you know what I'm saying, right? So this is what's happening. And I'll just give you an example of what these lessons are even like. You know, what am I even talking about?
Chordal voicings here, right? So put those together. Right, what did I do? I just hit the downbeat of measure 4.
Right, these are the things we're making with students. Like students are asking me questions. They're like, okay, what about this? What about this? And then we make a lesson based around it. And I'm going to finally start releasing them in the school. But like I said, if you want to get into the school for a lifetime free scholarship, we work one-on-one together. But obviously that's not a free service. I'm not giving you my time one-on-one for free, but I am giving like the best deal imaginable because you're helping me build out the greatest musical program of all time to trigger comprehensive musical enlightenment. That's what we're doing. And it's just like, if you don't believe that's possible, well then why are you still watching this video? Obviously it's possible, dude. No one's just realized how to do it except for us who are connecting the TIHAIS with the Meshuggah Framework. And literally it's like, okay, that just happens to be the mother lode. I mean, we've been looking all over for it. We freaking found the Holy Grail. Welcome to the party. Systems of Creation is the epicenter for all of this stuff. You can still get on the ground floor. Considering how high that price is going to be in like a matter of months, it's still really cheap for what you're doing. It's life-changing value. Ask Ashley, dude. Ashley's mind's freaking blown by this stuff. He's literally triggered a waterfall of enlightenment, dude. Ask Cole. Waterfall waterfall of enlightenment triggering. Ask Eric. You already know about him. Right, so that's in the school. Get in, check it out, man. You know, reach out to me if you want to join the 15-week accelerator, help me build courses. You know what I mean? Trigger comprehensive musical enlightenment. That's what we're doing here. So get in touch, and I'll talk to you very soon. It's really that simple. So see ya. Pyramid Blues Egyptian enlightenment every day.